became 501c3 very quickly, just a few months after we started. But the Life Development Center, that one was launched several, like 2014. So the 501c3 has been very helpful. Number one, of course, because of tax exemption, sales tax exemption, we're able to get resources without having to lose some resources in that case, to taxes. Secondly, it's helped us be able to link up with several organizations who only want to work with tax exempt organizations.
So they have you as a fiscal sponsor? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so we do, the LDC does fiscal sponsorship and and incubation and all that. But other organizations that we join with, that they only work with 501c3. So yeah, so in doing events together that touch the community and so on. So the 501c3 has helped in that area.
Yeah. So when they work with you, then they could get the tax write-off with all the donations, etc.
Yes.
What is the most common issues which your congregation comes to you for advice?
The most common issue, I think it's like for human beings. I don't know if like Maslow's hierarchy of needs talks about several needs that human beings have in their hierarchy, starting from just physical needs, safety needs, emotional belonging needs, and all that. So people come for a variety of reasons. I would say the most common is that need for significant living, like life that matters, that makes a difference. People have financial needs, they have all these things, people come, they have all safety needs and so on. But the real depth, the real felt need is that they just want to live a life that has meaning. That has meaning in good relationships, right? And then they have their needs met and they can go and fulfill the reason why they are here on the earth. So that's one of the things, I call myself a doctor for the soul. Yeah, for the soul of people, to help them find meaning, to help them find meaning in life. And then every other thing will follow. As you learn principles, your physical needs, safety needs, belonging needs, those things are met. Yeah.
They're part of the purpose. Everything they could apply, whatever other aspects of their life they could apply to their purpose once they find the purpose, is what you're saying.
Yes.
As of now, what is the main difference that you see between your congregation, your potential congregation in Rogers Park, and your congregation in Hyde Park at CityLight?
Yeah, so like I said, first of all, there are two different communities of Chicago.
Right.
So, Kenwood, Hyde Park, Bronzeville, it's a kind of community. Rogers Park is a different kind of community. It's more diverse.
Right.
In Rogers Park. So one of the things we see, and you build churches, right, to minister to the community that they are in. So there are certain things that you target towards the community. So over there, the basic need when we got there was youth and children and and all that. So we invested in the African American community. So we invested in that, and thank God, for the impact and the harvest of that. In the Rogers Park community, so we see an international community, and then we see certain issues going on there, right? So this church will be different. Number one, we're building it, first of all, to be a very welcoming place for people, no matter your level of faith or no faith at all. So we have people in different things and all that, being able to come to a church with no difficulty, close to them, and also a diverse church.
How difficult is it to bring in people that are not African American? It is very diverse,
Yes.
but how different faiths and different perspectives to also be a part of Glow Church. How difficult it is to bring others in?
So I don't like the word difficult. I like challenging.
Yes.
So well, it's challenging, but there are certain things that you do to mitigate that challenge, and that's part of what we're doing right now. We're even training with an organization called Association of Related Churches. They are training us regarding this church plant. Yeah, and they are also supporting us with some funding. for it. They are matching whatever anybody gives up to $50,000. Yeah, towards the church, and they are training us. So one of the things about a diverse church is that the church has to be from ground, open to everyone, and you have to have leadership that reflects all the people, and at least most of all the people that you want to come in, their demography and their levels. So that's why we're taking time to build the launch team before we launch publicly. Right. And that launch team is going to have people that when you come to the church, you can see somebody that looks like you.
The Association of Related Churches, this is the first time we heard of that. What could you describe a little bit about that association?
It's an interesting organization. So they help churches launch. They've been doing it for several years right now, and they have over 90% success in church launches. It started with an individual who thought, what if I put some money together and give it to somebody to plant a life-giving church in one city? Then when that church becomes strong, that church will now also start giving some money that will be used to give to somebody else to plant another life-giving church in another place. So over time right now, there are several churches who have been helped to start, and they are now all giving towards them.
Is the association based in Chicago? Where is it based?
It's based in Alabama. Alabama, in Birmingham.
And it was there. It came into existence after you started the CityLight Church.
Yes, it came into after the CityLight Church. So CityLight Church now joins them. We also support the other churches that are launching. Right. But now we're launching a new church from them also with that model. So when Glow Church starts, it's also going to, part of its income is also going to be going to launch other churches in other places to help somebody like us who's about to start. Yeah.
So was Glow Church your idea, or was the Glow Church a part of your meeting with the?
Oh no, it was our idea. So we had the vision before we met with them. So we have to share the vision, do all that. In fact, we have to sit with what they call the hack tank, like Shark Tank. So it was the hack tank, like Association of Related Churches hack tank, and we have to share the vision, my wife and I, and the business people. This is good, this is and they say, okay, now we're going to support you. So we have to convince them with a vision that this is something worth supporting.
Do you know how many churches there are in that association?
I will have to check that, but I know they have hundreds of churches in different parts of the United States, and now they also have internationally now in Canada and other places that they are helping churches to launch.
So when you visit Africa, are you bringing leads to them as well from Africa?
Am I bringing
leads? Yes, like leads to maybe other churches that want to establish in Africa.
I would love to do that. I've not done that yet, but I would love to do that after we launch.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's still a big project.
Yeah.
What are the main needs for the CityLight Church, the congregation over there?
Okay. So the people or the community?
Both.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
separately, if they're different.
Yeah. So first of all, let's talk about the community. So the Bronzeville area is undergoing a lot of changes now. So when we first moved there, it was more low to mid income with a few, but now it's changed.
Gentrified?
Yeah, it's gentrified. Yeah. So the houses are expensive and all that. So that's one need of people. Secondly,
in other words, you're saying that people are having trouble finding affordable housing because it's gentrified.
Exactly. But people are having to move, away and all that.
Yes.
So move around the community there. Also, the issue of violence is still ongoing. In there, just like what's been going on in Chicago, which I believe is it's just it's a manifestation of it's a symptom of a deeper issue. So, and the deeper issue that I believe, first of all, is people's meaningful living, love shown, and family. Plus a lot of governmental issues that have happened over the past, racial issues and all that. So, still a need is still a community that is united and families that are built up. So those same needs translate into the church, since the church is part of the community, and that's what we're addressing. Find your purpose, find your place, find your people, find your power. Yeah.
What about in Rogers Park? How is that different from Hyde Park and Brownsville.
Yeah, so there are certain similar issues,
Yes.
even though they are expressed in a different way in Rogers Park. So so Rogers Park is a more sort of established community in the sense that a lot of new development are taking place in Brownsville. So Rogers Park is like not much new development, are taking place yet. So it's a community that has things established that now need to be maximized. The potentials, they need to reach their potentials, right? And then because of the diversity of people, there's a diversity of issues, you understand, expressed in people. Some people are just coming in, like refugees that are just coming in, immigrants that are coming in that they have issues, and then those who have been long-term residents, and then you have East Rogers Park, West Rogers Park. So there are a bunch of things in there that are mixed, but the focus will be young people, will be people who are committed to the development of the potential, of the place, about leadership, and both just those who are not in leadership, civic leadership, helping to develop leadership in there, but most importantly, creating a family of people who are from diverse backgrounds, but they have one vision of making a difference.
So you're trying to find family leaders and then also youth leaders.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Or helping to cultivate
helping to cultivate such leaders, family leaders, community leaders, and so on. Yes.
WZRD is assessing the community for its quarterly issues, which is FCC mandated for as non-entertainment programming. So what WZRD do, all the on-air DJs, they have to find an issue and then or have an issue that's presented to them, like about 5, and that they do a little segment on and is submitted to the FCC.
Okay.
So what we're doing is that we ask community leaders such as you 3 things. The first thing is what matters the most to you? What do you care about the most?
I would say human capacity development. I believe that we are all in this world, young, old, no matter where we're from, we're here to fulfill a purpose, to reach our potential. And that potential is supposed to make a difference in the world. That is what life is all about. And I believe that we were sent here by God. So I would say the biggest need is to help people find that sweet spot for their lives. A lot of people are living lives, going to work and doing all that, but they are not fulfilled. And there are a lot of societal issues that come as that ride on that because of that lack of fulfillment. A lot of things ride on that. So I believe that one of the things that should be done, that should be happening, is for people to find what their life is all about, what their purpose is all about, and to have the opportunity through education, through relationships, whatever it is, to be able to develop their potentials, to reach the highest point, and then make a difference in the world and in the city.
This is WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. We have with us at the studio Gregory Lan Ijiwola of CityLight Church, who is going to launch Glow Church in Rogers Park. The second part of the community assessment for the quarterly issues is what is the most important long-term problem that we need to address, according from your experience?
Yeah. So if the human capacity thing, it's addressed, so there will be a lot of people who will either start things or get involved in, highly impactful things for the community. So we need a place for those people. We need opportunities for them, because when people get fired up, they need places where they can make an impact. So I would say that the continuous support and development of organizations, I call them arrowhead organizations in the community, some people that are on the front line doing stuff, to continue developing those people, because many of these people are going to be joining those and they're going to be starting those. So supporting such organizations, making them a priority, is very important, so that opportunities continue, job creation and so on too, and business support. Yeah.
What about the problem that needs to be resolved now?
Yes. So in terms of the now, in preparing for that, I think the key thing is educational, both vocational education, and other forms of education. So both just learning generally to expose people more to learning about, like I'll call it holistic learning. So because there are all kinds of knowledge and all that. So like more holistic learning where you learn about your spirit, your soul, your body, your finances, family, and all that. Something that comes together and then that leads to the development of people. So I believe very strongly that education is how communities are changed. People who are educated, they are strong people, they are powerful people, they are united people. And
well, you exemplify that with all the education that you described to us earlier. What advice do you have for students who are inspired to serve?
Yes, I will tell students, when I was a student, service was one of the things that I would say was my mainstay, apart from my studies. And I look back now, and I'm very grateful that I did that, because the most important thing that that can happen to you when you are involved in anything is not necessarily what you are getting physically, but who you are becoming. Service turns you into somebody else. It turns you into a person of impact, a person who understands what is going on. When you get involved in needs, you become more empathic towards people because you can see how things are going on. You become compassionate. So I want to encourage students, apart from their studies, to make sure that they are developing themselves holistically. Join community organizations like Glow Church, let me put a shout out there, or the Life Development Center, the South Side, that are touching people. I'm excited. We have some University of Chicago students that are helping us to develop our strategic plan and all that right now. They are called the Campus Catalyst Team. So helping us there on the South Side. So students, should get involved, because students are very skillful. They can apply what they are learning right now in the community in real life. So to join such organizations, make service, part of their life plan.
What was your first volunteer service?
That's a long time ago. First, I would say so my story is very interesting, because from my elementary school to high school and all that, I was placed in leadership position. So it was something they used to do in Nigeria. They call them, and they do it in England, so the prefect system, and they call them class monitors or class captains. So they will call somebody from the class, and you're going to be the one responsible for all the other students. So throughout all my schooling, I was a class captain, I was a school prefect, throughout everything up till high school. So I would say my first volunteer experience was when I was in elementary school, and I was a class captain.
Well, how in what grade?
Oh, from first grade. Yeah, wow. That's my life from first grade. So I was responsible for keeping the class clean and keeping everybody, if anybody is disturbing, I write their names and give it to the teacher and all that. When the teachers are having their meetings, I'm the one that is responsible for everything being in place and all that. So right from then, I did it all through every grade till I left high school, and I became school prefect.
How many students were in the first grade that you?
I don't know the exact number, but I know the schools are the classes are usually very large, maybe like 75.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was like that until, and then the school, of thousands of people, I was what is called the senior prefect or the head boy. So I was responsible for the entire school, the cleanliness, leading the student body and so on. And into college too, I started doing that. Then I started pastoring churches too. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you have a quite extensive resume all the way from first grade.
Well, sometimes I wish I didn't have that. I'm like, why is my life like that? But I'm glad.
Well, thank you so much for joining WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. Pastor Gregory Lan Ijiwola of CityLight Church and the soon-to-be launching Glow Church in Rogers Park.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a great time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Pastor Gregory, how you doing?
I'm good.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
It was a great interview from what I saw.
I loved it. She's
Yeah.
so good.
Oh, yes, she is.
She's so good. Wow.
Yeah, I'm very lucky.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're
Well, you're lucky too.
indeed.
You got to interview her.
Yeah, that was so good. And people were texting me.
Oh, yeah?
You know, I was getting texts from people that were listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. That was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So the camera is still running. You could switch it off, so I
I got
don't
it.
have to do that much.
Okay.
Cutting later.
So that was Pastor Gregory. It's right behind me. And I'm the Wizard, WZRD, and his church is a member of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce. We support him all the way.
Yes.
He's a community builder, and so we're community builders too, and that's why we're working together. And that's how it goes.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thanks for your support. I
Let's,
appreciate it.
Let's have a photo shoot as well.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, let me cut this.